Hi, how are you? I'm so happy to be back with you for another episode of Sunday Club Online. How has your week been? Right? It's been a little crazy. This is a crazy week. Thank goodness it only comes around maybe once every 4 years. So I hope that your journey has brought you here from a place of joy and that we get to share this time together will be an additional joy. Welcome to Did You Know? This is our new section where we catch you up on Wilson News so that we can all be better connected. Our first Did You Know is that we are now live streaming from the sanctuary on Sunday morning. We started last week, and if you missed it, you'll get another chance this week. Please know that we are doing everything we can to abide by strict protocols and keep people safe. If you're able to connect online, please continue to do so. If you know of someone who's having difficulty connecting virtually, please let them know they're welcome in the sanctuary for this service. We'll do the best we can for as long as we can to keep our entire faith family connected and hopeful. Did you know that last year we started a new Advent tradition here at Wilson? We celebrate the Christmas season, illuminating our grounds by erecting beautiful fresh cut Christmas trees decorated with white lights. The trees remain lit each evening during Advent from 6 p.m. till midnight, and the trees can be lit in honor of a loved one, a family, or a special hope for the coming year. All your registration details can be found at the Wilson Church website, and I hope that you'll participate in this lovely tradition. This week's last Did You Know is just a reminder that we have a weekly newsletter that goes out from Wilson Youth and Family Ministries. If you would like to receive this newsletter each Wednesday, send me an email. You can reach me at veggietaillady@hotmail.com, and I will be sure that you get a weekly email letting you know what's going on in our program and ways that you can be involved. This week in that newsletter, I talk a little bit about how I'm dealing with not hugging during COVID. I swear my arms ache from the virtual hug, the one that goes like this, like, oh, I want to hug you. And of course, I'm masked, but like, I want to hug you, but I can't. And it truly creates a pain in my arms. I miss hugging. But there are times when, whether it's somebody that we haven't seen in a long time, or someone that we love a lot, or maybe somebody who just needs a hug, this season has made it so difficult. And sometimes when we're masked and we've taken everything to consideration, we kind of say, well, I'm going to hug you anyway. In this pandemic season, it feels like every day there's a new rule. We need to social distance. We need to mask up. It's been suggested that we touch elbows instead of hug, but that doesn't feel the same. Still, they're rules and we follow them. In Jesus' time, the Jews were to follow a set of rules called the law, and because Jesus was Jewish, he followed them as well. But then there are times when Jesus, because of his compassion, felt it was time to either bend or maybe even break a rule. That happens in today's story. Let's take a look. Today's story of compassion comes from the Gospel of John, chapter 5, verses 1 through 9. Listen for the word of the Lord. At a festival the Jewish people were observing, Jesus went up to Jerusalem. In that city, by the sheep gate, there is a pool. Its Hebrew name is Bethsaida, which has 5 entry spaces. People who are blind or very sick or cannot move were gathered in these spaces. One man was there who had been ill for almost 40 years. Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he had been there a long time. Jesus said to the man, "Do you want to be made well?" The man explained, "Sir, I am alone. There is no one who will put me into the pool when the healing water is stirred up. When I try to get there on my own, I'm too slow. Someone else steps down ahead of me." Jesus said to him, "Stand up, grab your mat, walk." The man did what Jesus said, and he was healed on the spot. This happened on a Sabbath day. This is the word of the Lord. Did you catch where Jesus broke a law? Do you think it was ignoring the celebration? Or maybe visiting those who couldn't participate? The key is in the last verse of the story. It goes, this happened on a Sabbath day. You see, Sabbath means rest, and the day of rest was a Sunday. Why do you think Jesus broke that rule? What do you think moved him to do so? Some rules are more than policies. Like when we're at church or school, sometimes those kind of rules come from people around us, the people closest to us, relatives or friends who set certain guidelines about our behavior or how we do things. Do you ever find those rules are things that don't fit? They just don't feel right? Do you have the courage and the wisdom to be able to stand up for your truth in those moments, for your own personal rules? What rules do you push up against or want to question? Jesus' decision to heal the man who was a direct breaking of a religious rule at the time. How do you imagine Jesus felt when he was caught between breaking the law or helping someone who was truly in need? What do you believe helped Jesus have the courage and wisdom to choose the way he did? I'm sure you've heard a lot this week about laws of the land and whether they've been bent or broken or messed up. Remember this, my beloved. When faced with the conflict of following the common rules or following your compassionate heart, I want you to consider something called the greater good. Deciding for the greater good means making a decision that benefits more people than just yourself, more people instead of less. That can be your entire classroom or your community, your family, or your town instead of just you. Making a compassionate decision means reaching inside yourself for a cause that may be bigger than yourself. In this pandemic season, we've had to take a break, we Sunday clubbers, from meeting together in person. But remember all the rules that we had? Whether it was you had to be up at a certain time or you had to be dressed a certain way. And then once we got to church, where we sat and how we sat and whether we were quiet or whether we were very participatory, all of those things, right? One of the graces of this pandemic season is that we get to be outside in the midst of all that God has created and truly praise and worship him that way. What if we all took a moment and made sure we took care of the animals and other living things that surround us right where we live? Whether it's feeding birds or raising a garden, these are ways that we can give back for all the blessings we've been given. Michael loves to feed the birds here on the church property. I'm going to show you some video of what our everyday looks like. We love caring for the birds here at the manse, and the squirrels, and the chipmunks, and the groundhogs, and the deer. Not so much the raccoons, although they're fun too. What a way to be a gift of grace to the animals on your property, to just set out some seed, to care for them, almost like Jesus did in our story, rather than be focused on the festival at hand, to truly care for those who need you. Before we say goodbye this week, I'm going to ask you for a small favor. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button below. Subscribe to the Wilson Church channel so you don't miss any Sunday Club Online episodes. And leave a comment. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. I can't wait to hear from you. Will you pray with me? Dear God, thank you for our story and helping us to think about what rules are really important. Help us to first be compassionate and caring, even if we feel pressured by rules or by those around us not to be. Teach us how to listen to your guidance in our lives above all other voices. We ask all of this in the name of your most precious one. Amen. Take good care, and I'll see you here next week. Bye-bye.